Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fox Den. My guest, Nitasia, she is here. She's just going to be audio only tonight. We're going to be talking tonight about her decks here, but I'm going to show them to you 1 minute. They are awesome. Okay, so let me read her bio. We have Nitasia Roland. She is a writer, poet, digital artist, and independent researcher and publisher of Esoterica. She has an interdisciplinary master's degree in English, poetry, printmaking, and design, as well as an MFA in creative writing. She has an extensive background in handmade textiles, book arts, teaching Photoshop. We got to talk about that. And editing and publishing small press journals. She practices magic, theurgy, and divination, and she is an avid tarot card reader and astrology enthusiast. So we are going to be talking about her, two of her decks. She's got more than this, but these two I have. The artwork on these are phenomenal. Okay, so we're going to be talking about those decks and her other skills as well. And welcome, Nitasia, to the show.
Thanks, Gina. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, I adore these decks. I adore them. I was telling people before, because people ask me also, let me get comments up here. Hello, hi, Mike. People ask me before, how did I get into, readings and things like that? And because I do oracle cards now. I said, well, I started with tarot, and I had a tarot, like a mythology tarot deck, and I loved that. I felt connected to that. But then I got into the oracle, and it was like, it changed the whole game for me at that time. And then I started getting, my OCD went into full gear, and I got, a million oracle decks. What you do is you throw in these cards. I mean, let me tell you, these cards are amazing artwork, but there are oracle cards that you put in here. There are 5 oracle cards in each of these decks that you add to the tarot deck. Now tell me why you did that, and then I'm going to show these in better detail.
Absolutely. Well, I curate images pretty much, or even bring old decks back from the obscure archaic places they've been in the archives. And so I love images so much that I could just keep going. So the 78 cards of tarot were never really enough for me. And so since I am an indie publisher with Urania Press, making my own decks that way, outside of, Wiser also publishing them, I had the opportunity to just throw in some extra cards. And so my indie decks had 10 extra oracle cards each, but the Wiser decks have 5 each. But yeah, it's mainly just about the fact that, being beguiled by these incredible images and artwork, and just wanted to keep going, offering more so that, people could add that to their readings and develop more of a story.
Hi, David. David's from Australia. Now, chimera. What is a chimera?
Well, it's like in, the classical way, it was a hybrid creature. So it was a lion, goat, snake hybrid beast. And I think mainly it's now considered kind of like a cunning creature with kind of feminine wile, but the positive aspects of the feminine rather than the sort of toxic aspects that I think originally the chimera was considered. But yeah, so it's more kind of an enlightened way to look at it, that it's the positive empowerment of the feminine side for the chimera. And yeah, but as I said, the mythical creature from classical times was mainly this body of a lion with a goat and a lion's head and then a serpent's tail.
So cool. I just love this artwork. So now, tell me about the artist, Oleon Redden.
Okay. Yeah. I
1800s.
Yeah, the way I pronounce it is probably not perfectly the way the French do. Odilon Redon.
Okay.
And yeah, he was a French symbolist, painter, printmaker, pastelist, draftsman. He was born in 1840. I think he was conceived in New Orleans, which is really interesting, but both his parents are French. And he is from Bordeaux, Aquitaine in France. He took up sculpting and architecture and studied with the engraver Bresden. He also served in the army for a little while, but when he got out of the army, he went right into completing like a really incredible body of work, which is called his noirs, which is what this deck is inspired by. And yeah, so he was one of the, he's considered one of the main symbolists in that art movement. And the noirs that he put together are definitely like a collection of what I call like velvety blacks, as you can see in that imagery, and like the light just comes through. It illumines the darkness.
Mhm.
And yeah, he was fairly unknown at the end of the 20th century, fin de siècle in France, and then he became kind of a little more widespread known when a famous writer at the time had a character in his book who actually collected Odilon Redon's artwork. So that's pretty fascinating.
Really? Can you
Yeah,
imagine having a whole bunch of this artwork around your house? Oh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so incredible.
It would be amazing. So that was the whole suit of pentacles there. But I mean, this box, I mean, the box, everything about these, how they work to this is quite amazing. It's really, really well made, really well done. The book is awesome as well. In the front, in the beginning, you do talk about that, what you were just talking about now, the artist, from the past, and there he is.
Yeah, so
So
his
it's
works, I think celebrated a lot of things from the dark, arena. So
yeah,
dreams and fantasies, the subconscious, numinous, the invisible, the mythic, phantasmagorical, and then of course chimeric themes, occult themes, mystical. Um, Definitely had like a wide range of creatures and characters. He was also inspired by Hinduism and Buddhism as well. I don't have that in my deck because some of that artwork was his latter work that was in color.
oh
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You can't veer from this. This. I adore the deck, and then in the back is where all the oracles are in their meanings. The trickster is something. It's like you can just look at this and know that there's something going on here.
Oh yeah. He's got quite the intelligence, you can tell.
Oof, So I'm sure if that comes up in a reading, that's going to be something,
Yeah,
depending
pretty
on what it's around. But now,
Yeah, and that's Caliban from Shakespeare, which is fun.
yeah, this
And he's,
is so
connected to the earth, so that's why I did the genus loci there.
it's so cool. I mean, it's totally mesmerizing. Even the swords. Like I love on the other deck, I like the cups cards. I really do. But in here, it's like these swords cards are intense.
Mhm.
Really, really, really intense. You know, like
Yeah.
you imagine what goes through this guy's mind, and for you to put these into a tarot deck is something else. Now, ready for this gun, guys? Ah,
I
oh,
think a lot of people know that one for his work.
how
Pretty
wild!
iconic.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. I just absolutely love this. So, how did you get started in all this? Have you always been like just the artsy girl?
Yeah, well, I went to art school, so I guess you could say that I was. And that was my early 20s. And I actually did a ceramics degree, but even when I was making ceramics, I was inscribing like flat book-like sections and kind of basically making books in clay. And so they were filled with images and a lot of emblems, actually. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, so I went to art school, and when I was in there, I was working in the art library, and I had to shelve books, but I also spent a lot of time looking at these books that I was shelving. And I discovered Audelaire work that way. And I was also doing a lot of photocopying and Xeroxing of things and keeping a journal of images that I loved. And so how this deck got started was that in 2020, when COVID struck, I was laid off from my job and I was able to kind of support myself through some unemployment. Like a lot of people had that opportunity, not everyone, but a lot of people did. And so I was looking through this old journal from my early 20s art school days, and I found, all these Xeroxed, images of art that I loved. And that one of them was the card, the one that I used for the card, the Tower card.
Okay.
It was Audelaire work, and I just remember thinking this would be a great tarot tower card. So then a friend of mine had sent me a tarot deck template, and yeah, there it is. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I think I'm going to just start laying these, because I found that his work was in the public domain. That's a very important thing, because I didn't have to get any permission.
Right.
And I just kept seeing work that would easily align with tarot. And I read tarot a lot in my early 20s, and then kind of left it behind and just did like the motherhood thing and had some small businesses and textiles and things. And so I'd kind of laid that sort of like part of my life to sleep, you could say, for a little while. And then it kind of came back full force in my late 40s. And anyway, so that was around the time 2020 when I created the deck. And it just, it got its funding through a Kickstarter campaign. And then after that, I just was like, okay, what next can I do? And then that's when I created the Tarot Emblemata, which is the other deck you're going to show. That both of these are, published by Wiser, but originally I had published them myself through my indie press, Urania Press.
Now, I know that this does not give this any kind of justice here at all, but this is just, they are stunning. The artwork on these are just amazing.
Yeah, and that is all artwork from the 1500s.
Right? And the feel of these is amazing. I absolutely love. I love this kind of stuff. I I do like the mythology stuff, but I'm a Renaissance freak. Okay.
Oh, awesome.
So I absolutely adore, I'm a gaudy Italian. Are you kidding? Look at right? I like gaudy Italian stuff and the Renaissance and I too, I'm an artist, but I was always more of a realistic artist. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't do artwork like these things, and I needed to be totally precise and,
Yeah, well, for me, it's interesting because I, like said, I did a ceramics degree, so I was more into like sculpture, and I was never good at like drawing and painting, but I loved images. I loved drawings, and I loved painting. So, like I said, I became like a curator of art because of the fact that like I couldn't actually sit down and paint or draw my own tarot deck. Like that would take years for one. I really respect people who do that, but I found my niche by bringing these more older images that are obscure, and allowing them to be kind of revivified and seen by a wider world.
yeah.
So that's been fun for me to do. And so, yeah, those are Renaissance emblems. They are French, but of course there were Italian ones as well.
Yep.
In fact, there were, I believe, over 6,000 emblem books at the time. Yeah, so they were pretty widespread, and they appealed to both the literate and the illiterate, which is really cool because they're, they have the image, which is considered a pictura. And so people who couldn't read could look at the image and get the symbolic meaning. And then those who could read would read the inscriptio and the postscriptio, which is like the text above and then the text below.
Yep.
And the text below tended to be a lot further.
This one definitely can be more for beginner. I think it's a little more, because it has the explanation a little bit on there. But you also put in there, and I actually typed it out. You have this explanation of the deck really kind of quickly. So for the people that don't know, so you have wands, cups, swords, pentacles, wands of fire. So they're all by elements, and then you have an explanation of what that usually represents. Cups, water, swords, air, pentacles, earth. And then you go through every one of the minor arcana, going the aces, beginnings, promise, potential, vitality, all the way through the king to mature, expertise, success, and sovereignty. And I love how you did that. That's going to help a lot of people, to do like quick understandings of how it all kind of comes together. Now, to explain how it is, though, that the minor arcana work with the major arcana.
Well, I
Your
think,
opinion. I mean, it's like, it's his opinion.
I guess how I see it is the majors are more of the archetypal forces and presences and people. Well, not the people because those are the minor, but the majors are more like the what you would experience on the road of the journey, what you would come up against, and who you could be. And so, like, obviously, you start out as the fool, and then go right straight through that journey. And so, to me, they're more like the archetypal forces and the how you can be represented as a persona. And then you get to meet people along the way and have guides and influences, and those for me are more of the minor arcana.
Yeah, I just love it. Look at that. How now this is like this one kind of threw me like, how is this the Empress? I don't know. It just was like I kept going back to this card for some reason. So I don't know what that reason is at the moment, but I kept going back to that card, and I love all of these depictions. Just fabulous. Look at this. I would have this on my door.
I love that. Yeah. Well, with the Empress card, it says, "She obtaineth whatsoever she desireth," and that just made me think of the Empress, and it's the ribbon entwined with that arrow. So, like, she shoots and she,
Just she
she
wants.
aims and she is able to make that mark.
Oh, all right.
And
So that's why I'm like, okay.
yeah, so she obtains what she desires.
Yeah,
To
we
me,
love
that's symbolic of the Empress, and also with all of these cards, I had to try to fit them into the tarot arcana, and I used the Rider Waite Smith tradition there. So I did my best to kind of once in a great while there'd be like, okay, I have this one card, what image will fit it?
exactly,
It was quite a
exactly.
lot of work to, some were really obvious, like the lion for the strength card. I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? But
Yeah, I like this for justice. That's perfect. I mean, they're perfect.
yeah.
And then check this one out, guys, for the hangman. How crazy is this? This is just so.
And that one is interesting to me too, because, it's like there's the idea of cutting down that noose or whatever, like not necessarily
All of
noose, but the hanging rope, and so
right.
that takes it to a whole new level or a different
It
level.
does. It does. It's like these cards grab you, and they really, really grab you. So when you do this, it's not, just the regular Rider Waite. You know, you have so much more symbolism. Like I said, I love Oracle, but then when I got this deck first, I was like, well, geez, this is just like an Oracle. And you have
Mm,
Oracle cards, right? So you have
mm,
extra 5 Oracle cards because you have so much more
mm.
to read on every card just in the imagery.
That's so great. Thank you.
That's they're fabulous.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole idea of the emblems back in the day is that it was a way to express like complex ideas in a really compact way, so the little image. My dog is asking to go out. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
put it really quick. Sorry.
okay. I'm just going to keep showing some cards here. So I'm going through the major arcana from this deck here, the Tarot Emblemata. And yeah, just fabulous, fabulous work. Look at this for the moon. All right. Knowledge. That's really neat. So then we have the sun. Of course, there's the sun. That's kind of a given. Judgment. Check it out. Check it.
Mhm.
Love it. Love it. And the world. Well, that's the major in this deck. I do have the other suits are definitely separated in here, but I just put them all together. But I had to go through because I've been using them. I had to go through and put them all in order again. But look at, I love how these hands come out of the clouds and stuff to be doing this.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think about the Rider-Waite-Smith and that imagery, it makes you quite sure that Pamela Coleman Smith had seen these emblems with these arms coming out of clouds holding, the sword, the wand, the chalice, and
Right.
even the pentacles, even the coins. They're all there.
Yeah. Look at this. This artwork is just phenomenal. But yeah, so this is this is the pentacles here. Okay. So how do you do readings and everything for people right now? Like if they wanted to get a reading from you, how would they do that? If you still do
Mhm.
that?
Well, I pretty much just do it locally, but I was on Etsy for a little while, doing like I would do a card pull and then write up. But yeah, I don't really do like live readings at the moment. I spend more time I mean, I've constantly got projects going, like 2 or 3 overlapping. It's insane. I've actually put out 9 decks, believe it or not, since 2020.
Yeah,
Because, well, one of them
I
is
need
coming
more.
out in 2026, but 9 altogether. And I'm not trying to you know, do it in the sense of having quantity. I do try to make sure there's quality involved there, but it's just kind of like I just kinda get on a roll and then a new project begins and then there's one overlapping another, and yeah, so I really haven't had the time to do readings, but actually I would certainly, if anyone's interested, they can contact me. I have an Etsy shop and a website, so
Wonderful, wonderful. Let me go to my media banners. So we have this one. So we have uraniapress.com.
Mhm.
We have you at Instagram at urania_press. And then we have the other Instagram account for the deck itself is at
Nitasia, yeah.
Nitasia_Roland. And that's Roland is one L. I keep trying to put 2 L's in it. It's like, and even your autocorrect will try to fix it too, but it's one.
Okay.
And even Nitasia is spelt differently. Get back to my comments. Okay. So if you guys, I mean, what we could do here, because she's not on camera, but if you wanted a card, I could, like, do you have decks there? Like, do you want me to shuffle and pull? Or
Yeah, why don't you shuffle and pull? But I do have some, yeah. I've got the decks in front of me too.
All right, so I'm going to quickly go through again, really quick. So this is the rest of the cups cards here, because they're just fabulous, fabulous, fabulous artwork. How she put these together with these decks is just, and I can't believe you made so many in really so little time with the amount of work and thought that would have to go in this. Because I know I do art and I go out of my mind. I have a lot of stuff. I do boxes when I make paranormal equipment.
Yeah. Well,
To
you know how it is. They work 7 days a week because
yeah,
it's passion projects, it's labors of love. So
yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I could just sit and do art all the time, I really would. My art teacher followed me through all of my schools. Every time I would switch a school, she would switch a school and stay with me.
oh
And
wow, that's
yeah,
nice.
and I was like the defiant child too. So I came in and one day I was like, I don't, I didn't, I said, I don't have to draw today because I had my hand was in like a sling and all wrapped up and stuff. She goes, you have another hand. And
Oh,
I did. So she made me do, yeah, she made
but
me do.
that's a really good thing. Yeah, I remember we had to extend our hands way out and have to do the drawings. You couldn't just get up there. And I was always the type of person who would be right up there with it so close to my face.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
because I
it's
did
so much
fine, fine,
harder.
fine marks. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
do pen and ink, watercolor pen and ink and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So I would do very fine, small work, and then to paint murals. I
Right.
painted, and then it's like I still have a mural on the high school that I went to, and that was a million years ago.
That's
So I'm
awesome.
old, you know. But the part of it, and it was a fox too. And when I moved here, I have up on my wall over here the original pastel drawing that I did of the fox for the mural.
That's
So I
great.
found that in my archives. I'm like, how about that? So the fox was guiding me even way back then. But that thing that she made me do with my left hand, she actually put into the Art Institute of Boston and got me a scholarship from there.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow, lucky. That's great. What a great teacher.
She was awesome. Yeah, she definitely was awesome. Okay, so guys, if you want to have a card pulled, and I will definitely do this Chimera deck. This is her one of her latest here, and it's just so cool. I mean, I could do either one, but I just really want to do one of these. So if you have a question, and I'm going to start shuffling these because I separated all these suits so I could show you. So it's gonna give me, you're gonna give me a bit to shuffle all of this. It's kind of crazy. But put up a question, and then we can pull a card. But in the meantime, so again, tell me about the textiles that you do or did.
Oh yeah, that was something I did because when I was a mom, I wanted, as a stay-at-home mom, so I wanted to have a small business. I've had several small businesses like that where, I could work at home, be with babies, and Etsy shop, that kind of thing. And so the business that I had was called Reverie Textiles, and it was upcycling cashmere into these like beautiful, luxurious blankets, and I did send them all over the world. So that was fun, but it never felt creative enough for me, but it was just something great for that time, and it was
Yeah,
certainly
sure. When
cuddly.
I heard textiles, because I mean that's like limitless. Are you batiking? Are you doing what?
Oh, right, yeah, no, I mean, I was obsessed with textiles. I still am actually, and I worked at a fabric store that was amazing here in our town, Belfast, and so I collected a lot, like Japanese textiles, and yeah, I've done like, block printing and screen printing and all of that sort of thing too. But to keep it unique and not be like sort of everybody else that was doing something, because there was just so many people on Etsy, right, doing it. So I did what I was doing, and it was more unique, and it was able to bring me in a little bit of an income.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I was the interior designer too, so I work with lots of textiles, for everything, for couches, for cushions and curtains and
Mhm.
drapes. I mean, you name it,
Yeah,
everything. Um, and even fabric wallpaper,
that's amazing.
So yeah, so it's fun. I would have loved to have designed some stuff like that.
Yeah, I was going to, with my Photoshop experience and like in Illustrator and all of that, I was going to create my own designs, but then just kind of around that time when I was gonna maybe expand my business, then I had this whole change. So that
Yeah,
was great.
yeah.
'Cause now I feel so much more like I'm in the zone of where I've been meaning to be, and
No, I
that
mean,
that place is a place where I'm combining text and imagery, which is something I've always loved to do. And so, like, the tarot format was perfect for that.
yeah. I mean, with teaching Photoshop too, like I'm not avid on Photoshop. What I do is I use like several different kinds of apps to create my stuff, and I use Publisher, and now they're going to get rid of Publisher, and I'm like, oh my God, my life is over. I have to find a 21 Publisher standalone version just to keep our business afloat because I do everything on there, because it has the sizing and everything on there. I can't find anything that's like it.
A lot of what you just said just got, like, strangely, all
Garbled.
garbled up. Yeah, sorry about
Oh,
that.
okay. Well, I was just saying that I use a lot of different kinds of apps, but then I pull it all together on Microsoft Publisher,
Oh, yeah, okay.
and Publisher is going bye bye, and
Yes, that's right.
that's horrible for me because I cannot find anything that I can do my sizing, um, stretches,
Yeah. Well,
manipulate my
you
images.
can do you work in Photoshop?
No, I don't. I don't know how. You're gonna have to teach me.
Because there's some basics for Photoshop too, like Elementals, I believe it's called, where you don't even have to get the, like, hardcore, creative suite or whatever, but just get, like, a basic, easeful, platform of Photoshop. And then, I had a similar experience because I was in publishing before my textiles business. I actually published a journal called Inner Tapestry, and I used Quark instead of InDesign. And so when Quark went out the door, I
Oh
had to
my,
teach myself InDesign. So I totally get it.
I know I'm going out of my mind. They're like, oh, just make everything a PDF. I'm like, I have 500 images on each thing.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I can't make that into a PDF. Plus, I change things, I manipulate them, I stretch them. Like
Yeah.
I need a 6 by 6 1/4 for the top. I need 3 by 5 on the side. You know what I mean? I have specific sizes of things
Mm,
I need to build what we build, and it's I tried to make something into a PDF, tried to print it out, and it's not the same. It's like, don't like it, don't like it. Hi, Lib. But what we're doing here, guys, again, right? If you want a card pulled, okay, she will do the thing for you. I have the decks. I just shuffled them both. So if you want either all right, I'm opposite world here. This is crazy. Chimera deck, say I want Chimera, or if you want the emblemata, okay, you can write bird, okay, you don't want to write out emblemata, all right, and I will know. Yeah, this is crazy because now how my camera is opposite. Every time I put this up and I go to put it down, this is on this side of my table right here. So it's like it goes from here to here and it's changed. It's I was doing this. I was doing this when Natasha came on. I was like, like, wow, this is really crazy. It's like it's one thing, it's another.
And it looks like semaphore. We're communicating in messages just through waving the tarot decks.
Absolutely, absolutely. but if you want a card, just say so, and she'll tell you. I'll just pull the card, and then I'll show you. But in the meantime, you can do one for me. So I have oh my God, now I have the Empress in the other deck. See, I was drawn to the Empress in that one, and I just pulled this one out of the middle of that deck.
That's great. Well, there you go. I think that's very significant.
Yeah, I love her. I want to be her.
Well, all women and all people who have feminine energies can obviously tap into that archetype, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So David says, I am seeing a doctor shortly, and apparently he's going to refer me to a heart specialist. It's to do with my job as leading hand on the local counselor. Any deck, please. Okay. All right. So you understand his question?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. Two of Cups.
Okay. Well, I mean, my first impression, and that's how I work, is on an intuitive level when I read. And there's definitely like a sense of touch right from the bat. That was the first thing I thought of. But also, and this is just because I'm interested in mythology and all of this kind of thing and like the pagan religions, but the centaur, which you see there on that card, two centaurs coming together. The centaur to me is the Greek god Asclepius, a god of health and healing. And so I would, personally connect in if that is of any interest to you, like connect into the spirit of Asclepius for any kind of guidance when it comes to health. I've actually worked with Asclepius myself and have gotten usually messages come like right when you're about to fall asleep, or sometimes when you wake, right when you're about to wake up. You can ask the question before you go to bed, and then hopefully your dreams, or maybe even some sort of thought or message, or even a voice that you might actually hear. One time I asked Asclepius for something that was concerning health, and in the morning a word came into my head that I had never heard of before, and I looked it up, and it was as a direct correlation to the thing I had asked about. It was amazing, and I'd never heard of that word before. So anyway, to me, like the Two of Cups there, obviously it's about a union of two, but that doesn't have to be like lovers or whatever. It can be like two on any level. So there can be like the doctor patient relationship, obviously. So it suggests to me that there's going to be a positive outcome with a doctor doctor-patient relationship. And then, of course, if it has to do with the job and things like that, it seems to me like it's going to be a positive outcome. And, yeah, like considering the union aspect, I would say that it's going to be a pleasing experience. And so I wish you luck. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wish you luck as well. Excuse me. This voice of mine, I'm telling you, one of these days. I used to have a good voice for radio.
You do.
Well, I used to. Now it's like, I don't know, ever since I get the COPD and the emphysema and this and the that, thanks
I've
to
been finding
COVID.
just with winter, the dry winters, it's so hard to keep a good voice without wanting to cough. It's just been so dry up here in Maine anyway with all the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from Mass originally,
Mhm.
so, but now I'm in Pennsylvania. So David says, thank you.
Great.
Yeah. So anybody else that has a question, do just like what David did, and we'll be happy to pull this card. It's a card show, and we're talking about everything that she does in her 2 decks. I mean, these decks are amazing. The artwork is amazing. The books are amazing. They're just so well made, so beautiful. The feel, everything. If you're into reading cards, these are beautiful decks. Look at this deck. It is absolutely to die for. Gorgeous. Look at this guy. I mean, they're fabulous. They are fabulous. They feel good in your hands. They're well made. You can tell that they're well made.
Yeah, I think Weiser does a great job with their packaging and their quality of paper is good. And
everything. And she adds some oracle cards in here as well, too. So each of these decks have 5, but she has other decks. How many did you put in the other decks?
well, 9 altogether.
9.
Yeah, so some of them are oracle, and yeah, some are not going to be reprinted, but at least not in the plans right now. Such as I did a Terra Incognita plant oracle deck that isn't going to be reprinted, I don't believe. But yeah, so just 9 altogether, and mainly tarot, but obviously a few oracle decks on their own as well.
Cool. But Libby, if you want a card drawn for you, I can do that, and she'll read it. So I've shuffled either deck, so you can say I want, and making it easy, the bird deck or the chimera deck. So either one, just say, or either, and then I'll pick one, whichever one I think you should have. So I know you're used to me, doing when I do my cards. I have all my oracle deck cards out, but these are her decks. And, and again, I started many, many years ago with tarot. I got away from tarot and did oracle, but this is as close to oracle as you can get. The imagery on these cards are just phenomenal. Okay, Martina says, I'm having severe anxiety and nothing seems to help. I'm hoping for any positive news of any kind. Okay, I'm going to do the other deck. Yes, because I think the Renaissance is going to come through for you. And here we go. Okay, well, we've got the Tower. Okay.
And do you want to read the
top? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me put on the readers.
The motto there, yeah.
Whom it happens unto, if it shall fall. Okay. I don't know the Latin, but so there's Latin, but then there's that, and it's the tarot. But look at the imagery on this. Now everyone always freaks out about a Tower card, but it's new beginnings.
Oh yeah, I mean, for me, the Tower card is it's so essential to any process. And so if you're like in a healing process or anything like that, you can imagine that with that emblem that something may need to be shed or fall away or let go. And so maybe like the buildup of anxiety might come to a culmination where, you might even let off some steam, or, there is like the fiery flames coming out from the tower, So I mean, it could be a potential situation where like you just can't take that anymore and you sort of just let it go, or it happens to you, because a lot of times with the tower card something happens to you. So I mean, in all good respects, like hopefully pray for like a positive thing that's going to like be a catalyst, that'll be a catapult, so that you can let go of and just release and maybe start anew from, those like sometimes the foundations have to fall. And so I don't know, any of the other particulars of your situation as far as anything like with foundations, but sometimes the foundations aren't solid underneath, but you can, build upon them, you can reconstruct. And so hopefully something will, if it's going to be a catalyst that's going to come in and shake things up, it'll be a positive thing. So usually what I do in a reading is like pull clarifying cards to get some more information.
Do you want another one? Okay, another one. The world.
Okay, yeah. So something's definitely going to come into your life. It's going to
Yeah.
kind of shake things up. Some things potentially might like slip away or fall, and the foundations may even potentially, I would say crumble, but not to be afraid of that, because it could be metaphorical, it could be anything. But there's going to be a completion, which will then obviously hearken to the new beginning.
Right. And then to sum it all up,
And, obviously that completion card is a positive
Empress.
outcome. Yeah, brilliant.
Unbelievable. I
Yeah,
love it.
she's
And
been
I
coming in quite a
out
lot.
again out of the middle of this deck. Right?
Yeah.
I shuffled, I just cut and pull it out of the middle of the deck.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because weren't we talking about the Empress too earlier, before we even started? So, like, I think her energy is there for sure.
Definitely, definitely. So she's in a
And
in a
she aims and she makes her mark. So, like, she is on point and she will obtain, what she desires. So, like, if you're desiring to have less anxiety and to feel more right, in your body, then that's going to come, and the Empress energy is something to connect in with.
yeah. Yeah. So like how I see it is like when you got this and you're saying you're having severe anxiety, okay, it's like I think this is like poof, right, you got to let that go. And then whatever it is, like how even if you have to like journal, like find out what it is, that's really really bothering you, because once you get it out of here and on paper, it lessens so much more, and it just you can disperse it right there. um, a completion, absolutely. Once you get it out, oh hey, well, this isn't so bad, I can fix it. And
Yeah,
you
and that dispersing energy is so evident with that Empress card, because it's like the ribbon and the arrow, and the ribbon is just about to go flinging,
right.
and right now it's kind of all like sort of tight and wound up, which is like the sense of anxiety, a kind of tight, wound up feeling or whatever, but it's going to be released and that arrow is going to fly and it's going to come to meet its completion, and it's going to be like the wreath on that world card is a sense
Yep.
of whole. And
Yep.
so there's going to be a wholeness in that completion.
Yep.
And see, the ribbon is dangling down, from that garland. So
Right?
it's
I
it's
know.
more relaxed. Do you see that?
It's
Yeah.
perfect. It's perfect. So this anxiety, poof, right? And then you're gonna have this. It's perfect. That was so I love that. I love how cards work. I absolutely do. And she said, "Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Awesome. What is awesome? Yeah, let us know. What's going on, what happens. I definitely like to know. Okay, and again, like I said, we are only having her for an hour tonight, so we only have like 15 minutes left with her, which I'm really sad about.
I've got 2 kids and a dog, and yeah, we've got to wind down. I'm on the East Coast. I'm not sure. Where are you?
Yeah. You could do that. Scream. You know what? Screaming is one of the best forms of venting. You know how
Release.
women get
Yeah.
that lump on the back of their neck? My doctor and my massage therapist told me if you scream and then just grab a pillow. If you don't want, the neighbors calling the cops, just grab a pillow, scream into the pillow, let loose, girl, let loose. And I'll tell you, that relieves so much tension. I do it all the time. Yes, Bob.
Yeah, I
And I
do
put
something
him
similar
on.
to that. It's like I call it the Kali, Kali scream or whatever, where you like not only scream, but you thrust out your tongue and you look really angry and mad.
Yes, yes.
You just do that
Stop
Kali
all of
Kali.
it.
Yeah.
All of it. It's and then that helps keep that lump down that women get because that's where all our stress goes, is right here. And when
Oh,
you scream, it just
wow.
poof, it alleviates that. It's like, all right, good. I just needed a reason to scream, and now I got one. I'm doing this for my health.
I'm gonna tell my sister about that because she's got that neck thing.
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
It's
and
that,
she
it's like,
suffers from a ton of stress, so yeah.
oh, jeez, yeah, yeah. So write, get it out, scream. And then if you want to hit something, hit the pillow. Nothing hard. but,
Mhm.
but screaming actually seriously is good. You ask your doctor. I'm not making that up. It's for real. All right. So if anyone else would like a card, please, do so. I'm going to put up um, her website, uraniapress.com, her Instagram at urania_press, and her second Instagram, which is the deck Instagram at Nitasia_Roland. Okay, so you can find her on those places. Get back here, and just if you're a reader, these decks are amazing. They are so amazing. You will love them. You would really, honestly, God, love them. I know Mama D, if she was here today, she'd be like out of her mind as to like how they just flow so nice in your hand. It just it feels so good. Everything about them,
And that the
oh,
Tarot Chimera deck is really I meant it to be like a shadow work deck.
yeah,
So
yeah,
if people are interested in that kind of thing, it really, the guidebooks that I write and the book for that in particular definitely comes from that place of working with the subconscious layers, and bringing out into light the things from the darkness, because that's exactly what these images are. And what he did in his work
yep.
is that he worked with like the luminosity and the light and tenebris and chiaroscuro, and it's just amazing how you can see the luminosity in such dark images. And so that's a great metaphor for us to work with that, with shadow work and yeah, bringing those personal narratives out from the subconscious layers, like the darker elements of the psyche, and just kind of learning like what might be next on your journey, especially if you're having any troubling times, but it can be for anything. And in Photoshop, it was the same idea. Like I actually optimized these images digitally, and the process I use, I was taught by a master, John Paul Caponigro, which is called painting with light. And so I was literally when I do photo manipulation, I paint with light. I actually use the paintbrush in Photoshop to paint light elements and shadow elements. And so it was really fun to take his work where he actually painted and like these aren't paintings, they're lithographs, but like the charcoal, and he worked that way. And then as I was restoring his work, because it was, the archived images are pretty bad, and so I was really optimizing them, and I was doing kind of the same thing, working with the light and the shadows. And then of course then the tarot arcana is helping you work with your light and your shadows.
Yep.
And there's lots of little creatures and demons in there, and I see demons in the sense of like a positive thing, like even like daimon,
Yeah.
so there's definitely like that aspect of the spirited and the numinous in there, and like those can be guides.
Oh
And in
yeah.
fact, I actually take loads of my cards and cards from other people's decks, and I put them all around my house for like just kind of trying to like get us kind of embody that kind of archetype and persona and energy, so that's why it's great that the Empress card came up a lot tonight, because obviously she's making her appearance.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's so crazy. I mean, can you look at the size of this deck? Come on,
Yeah.
you shuffle and you shuffle, and now it's like it's buried in here again. It's definitely buried in there again. So if someone else wants a card, you got to do it quickly. We only have 10 minutes left with her, and she's so good. She's so good, and these decks are so amazing. All right, that is shuffled again. I'm going to shuffle this one more time too. Now, if Empress comes up on either one of these, then we know she is like here and just ready to play. Anybody? Do you dare? Do you want a card? And even look at the inside of this box too. And it says here too, let me read this and get it right so I don't screw it up. Chimeras are creatures of imagination that carry dreamers away. Look at that. That's just the inside of the cover of this box. They're so cool. They're so cool. Just totally getting me back into wanting to do tarot, regular tarot again. Oh, and you even have, of course, you've got some spreads in the back, how to do some certain spreads. And like when I get a new deck, what I always do is I will, shuffle, get my energy in there. And then I will always do a 3-card spread for myself, with the new deck, past, present, future. And if it's on, it's on, and then I know I'm connected with the deck.
That's how I read. I read with a 3-card spread. I don't do any others. I put 3 cards down, past, present, and future, and then I have a bunch of decks, like ones that I love. Well, obviously, for me, I use the Rider-Waite-Smith as like the 3-card, and then from there, I use other people's decks and my own decks to clarify. So I just basically end up with a table full of cards with a story. I call it like a mythos that I'm developing.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I just keep asking questions and then, drawing cards based on those, original 3 cards.
Yeah, this was my original partner in this whole thing. We had a show called Second Sight, and he was a psychic, and he did a thing called psychic poker. That's what he called it. But he had all these decks, and he would just throw out all these cards, and they would just make a big movie for him.
Yeah.
And so you're doing kind of the same thing. But
yeah, and it's not chaotic at all, because, I mean, you're following like a path and a story and a trajectory and a journey, so I see it as like a flowing, not necessarily linear, but like definitely like there's a flow to it,
Right. So when me and Mama D do cards on the show, or me and Mama D, we have like Mary Jo or Lisa Jo, coming on, do them with us. We'll each pull a card, but then sometimes I'm like what we did with Martina. I was like, all right, you're like, yeah, usually I have another card. I'm like, yeah, we need another card. And then I'm like, oh yeah, we need another card. And then it's done. And then it's done. You know what I mean? But sometimes I'm like pulling all these cards, and I feel guilty, taking time away from other people that are, wanting either to be read or my readers here, but I'm like, I'm not done. I need to know what this means, so, I keep going. But
there's no real end, actually, is there? Anyway.
No, I mean, there is and there isn't, but it's just so crazy how they all work. And, or someone's talking about something, and then all of a sudden you'll get this. All right, I'm just going to pull this card because I think this goes along with this conversation. So the conversation that we're having right now, right? So there you go. You know what I mean? It's like the cards are with us at all times, and they're never wrong, And it's like, even if people don't understand it right now, like if they're asking a question and the cards are coming up, and it might not be about anything that they asked for, but it's something that they need. And then they'll, either message me or something. I'm sure you get it to message you down the road and say, oh, now I understand what that meant. And yes, I definitely needed that. And then this happened, that coincided with those cards or that reading or whatever. Always.
And that card that you put up for me is indicative of everything for why I'm kind of getting into tarot and well, I have been getting into tarot and creating tarot because for my spiritual journey, I guess you could call it, I have just felt the really strong need and desire to champion the kind of mysticism, obviously, that believes in spirits and that, in guides. And that's Caliban. So he's like a little earth spirit. He's the genus Loci. Um, but he doesn't have to be Caliban. Like I didn't, that was, Odilon Redon created that as Caliban, Shakespeare. But for
Right.
me, it was more just about like earth spirit,
And
and land spirit. So
see, it's with us. You
yeah.
know, everything for a reason. Everything for a reason. I think we go through things for a reason. We've created all these things for a reason. Even 2020 with COVID and everything gave you that time, that break time to
Mm,
be able to create. Again, everything for a reason. Everything for a reason. And I'm
yeah.
so glad that you did because these decks are amazing. And I want all your decks.
It's
Tell me about Photoshop. So you're not done with me yet. Now,
oh, good.
now you got a friend for life,
Yay.
and you're a Foxten family member forever.
Sweet.
Yeah, when that new deck comes out too, I'll have you back on. Or if I get more of your decks, if you want to come back on anytime, please.
Thank you. Yeah, my recent decks are they're based on my thesis from my creative writing degree.
Cool.
So I when I went for my creative writing degree at the end we had to, do a thesis for a master's program and mine was on the endurance of the sublime. And for that, it was literary sublime, but obviously the artwork of the sublime, which goes back to like the 2nd century as far as the notion of the sublime goes, like the artwork of the sublime was just as potent. So I realized I could create a whole deck called Sublime Thresholds and make that aligned with tarot through images from all the way from like medieval, Baroque, Gothic, Romantics, and Symbolist. So I created that deck called Sublime Thresholds Tarot, and it's based on some work that I did on the Sublime. Like I created a whole bunch of codes, and so those codes are on the cards, so it makes the cards interactive, kind of like that Tarot Emblemata. And then after that deck sold out right away within a month after the Kickstarter was fulfilled. And so it's now in its 2nd printing, and so that's still available for being shipped out in I think is it July and August. And then after that I was like, okay, I can keep going. There's just so many amazing, beautiful images in the public domain that really suit. So I decided to do Sublime Thresholds Oracle. And so that's the one I'm actually fulfilling right now with Kickstarter. I'm almost done with that, and I'll be shipping out all the Etsy orders after that. So those are
Oh my
2 latest.
God. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Ah,
you can see that stuff if you look at my Instagram accounts. So you can see those cards.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh,
Thank you.
I can't wait. I gotta have them. My OCD is like, I have no room left over here. I'll have to create another space over here for more cards.
Well, I know you love art, so there you go. You'll love these.
And,
Some of the images you'll see, but some of them I'd never seen, lots of them I had never seen before because I went through 4,000 images in the public domain. I just stayed up like until like 2 and 3 in the morning, nights, just like pouring through images and yeah.
yep, I know it. And your eyes start just like, I understand that wholly and completely.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Well,
Oh,
thank you to your, watchers and listeners.
oh, I just love you. And
Thank you so much for having me on.
oh, thank you for coming on.
Great
And
to
you
meet
can get
you.
back to the fam. And I gotta find my exit video. Here we go. And the puppy and the kids and everything and continued success. And we're gonna keep in touch for sure.
Yes.
I gotta pick your brain about all kinds of stuff.
Oh, great. For
All right.
sure.
All right. So everybody, ciao for now. Please look her up on her Instagrams and that website that we put up and get these decks. You're going to love them. I can't wait to get more. All right. We will see you all next week. Ciao,
Take
ciao.
care. Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D. We are here every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you a variety of guests or our own intuitive oracle card reading shows. We are streaming live on Facebook on my personal page and our YouTube channel, The Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D, on Mama D's YouTube channel, Angel Meadows, as well as our audio-only venues. We hope you enjoyed our show and our guest or your reading, and we would love it if you would go to our YouTube channel, The Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D, subscribe, share, and definitely hit that notification button to never miss a show. We'll see you all next week, and subscribers, watch for our pop-up shows as well.